All right. Hey guys, welcome to Kumo Gaming Talk. I'm here with Andres today, and we're going to be talking about a few different topics. But today we're going to be talking about what game or games do you consider to be the best games of all time, in your opinion?
Yeah.
And that's a hard question, in my opinion. But what do you think? Let's start with you, Andres. Give me your top three, and then we'll kind of dive into why each of our threes are on this list.
Of course. First of all, thank you for having me, Vale.
Of course,
And
bro.
yeah, you start shooting hard now. The first three games, the best game for me, I think I have to go with Zelda: Ocarina of Time, um, Super Mario World,
Mario World.
and those two are retro. So let me go
Yeah,
with something more modern.
modern.
I think Zelda Breath of the Wild is
Breath of the
so good.
Wild. That
Yeah,
game is
it's
phenomenal.
such a good game. For me, those three are arguably the best game I have
In
played, and I think
specific,
it's the best.
in specific order or just kind of general. Like these are the three that I.
I mean, if I'm biased with my
Yeah,
personally, the likeness of the game, I think I'm going first Ocarina of Time. I love the game.
Ocarina of Time.
I
That's
play it
my
so
number
many
one.
times.
I lost
Uh,
count how many times I've beaten
yeah,
Ocarina of Time.
yeah. I love that game so much. I think I'm going Breath of the Wild number two
Two.
and
Okay.
Super Mario World number three.
Three.
Yeah,
Man, and
yeah,
that's such an interesting list because as somebody who I feel like I'm very retro, I play a lot of retro, I collect a lot of retro. There's only one retro game on my list, which is crazy.
what,
Um,
what is it?
number one, Ocarina of Time. I'm with you on that
Oh,
one. I have no idea
my
how many
man.
times I've beaten that game, and the soundtrack on that game is just next level.
Beautiful.
Um, number two is gonna be Witcher Three.
Nice,
The That
nice.
game is just phenomenal. I think that's one of the games that I put the most hours into. And then number three, The Last of Us, the first one. The second one was terrible.
Oh, I
But
love it.
the first Last of Us really, really, really resonated with me. But Ocarina of Time. Let's start with Ocarina of Time because that's our first one that we both are there number one in our list.
Yeah.
Why was Ocarina of Time our number one?
It was one of the first game. It was in my experience, it was a hard game the first time I played it.
Very.
So it was a proud game that I able to succeed and complete it fully. So
Yeah,
and the graphics and the music,
I agree. The
the
music.
colors, the controllers, for me it was perfect. The game, it was so ahead of its time. I still can play it today and have a lot of fun with the game. It has replayability, and it's a perfect game. I think it's a 10 out of 10. Yeah,
Yeah, I agree with you on that. The music from it, the gameplay. I feel like that game was just so far ahead of its time
yeah,
with because it's such a like you said, it's a game that you could pick up now. It's such a timeless game. I still
yeah.
play that game. I have it on my 3DS, the 3DS version, and I will play it again. I think I've beaten it like three times on the 3DS, but it's just that good of a game. The music to me is one of the parts of that game that stands out so much.
The
I've listened
music
to
is beautiful.
the soundtracks that people have remastered or remade on Spotify or YouTube. They're just phenomenal. Like one
Yeah,
of the greatest games ever made.
the Zelda community is crazy, man, and
It is.
there are so many talented people that that make music, make everything about this community, this Zelda universe, and it's beautiful to be immersed in this game.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's beautiful.
No, I agree. And to me, like I can't talk enough about to me growing up playing the ocarina made me want to just find an ocarina and figure out how to play it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I
All
have an
right.
ocarina on
Do
my.
you really?
Yeah, I don't know where it is. I can check it out and show it to you. I can send you a picture. I have an ocarina.
That'd be
I used
funny.
to play
I
some
had I had
music.
I had one that I had found in a collection that I picked up, but I have no idea where it went.
Okay.
It was like a
It's
little tiny ocarina, and it came in a pouch. Yeah, same thing. I have no idea where it is. All
yeah.
right, number two for you. You said Breath of the Wild. We're
Breath
going
of the
back to a
Wild.
Zelda game.
Yeah.
That was almost on my list. That I almost put that one on my list, but I feel like if I put one Zelda game, it has to be Ocarina. But Breath of the Wild, phenomenal game too.
Yeah. You
What?
you actually have a wallpaper on your screen.
Yeah,
I
from Breath
think
of the
it's
Wild.
yeah. It's what can I say? It's almost. I mean, it's the same. It's a 10 out of 10. It's a wonderful game. You don't have to play any Zelda game to be able to be addicted to this game. You know, you don't have to know the backstory. You just need to have the the open mind to play an open world game and just play it. You know, it doesn't have a line to follow. You can do whatever you like on whatever terms you like, however you want to do it, because the developer thought of that. You know how you can do so many things to the same goal. You know, give the player the ability to choose how you're gonna solve those puzzles. You know, so
No, I agree.
it's an awesome game. Yeah, it's almost perfect. If not, it's
I
perfect.
agree. No, I agree. I feel like that game definitely when I picked it up for the Switch and I played it, the fact that once you're playing and then you get on to the main map, you really don't have that much guidance. It's kind of like
Yeah,
you're out here, go where you want to go and figure it out, which I
yeah.
think was super
It's
cool
weird.
because yeah,
It's
because
weird
if
at
you
first because you get lost real quick. You know, you don't know where to
real quick.
go. You don't know what to do. So at first glance, you are what the hell am I going? What I'm going to do? You know. So, but then you start
For me, I
exploring,
think
and yeah,
because for me, I think I was like, you know what? Let me go find some towers. So I went found towers to try to get the maps, and
yeah,
I would see something in the horizon, and I would be like, I don't know what that is, but I want to go check it out. So then you just start walking in that direction, and then you find a little village, or you find a whole field of horses, and then you kind of just experiment and try to play with the tools that they give you, which are like these electronic magnetic things, the bombs, and
yeah.
you you start finding loot. And for the first Zelda being open world, I think they did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, I think so too, and it's so vaguely open. You know, it has such many intricate details in the game. It's made it so wholesome.
Yeah,
Now that you mentioned the bombs, have you seen the clips of people traveling long distances with the double bomb glitch? I have never done
I
that, but
mean, I've never done
that's
it, but I've seen videos
that's
of it.
that's so super cool. That's what I was telling you about the way they developed this game and make you give you the opportunity to do whatever you like the way you you want to in a creative manner, and it's so rich and so
No,
beautiful.
it's crazy. It's crazy how what they were capable of doing with that. Just insane. They were just like, here are your tools. Here you go do it. And then I've seen speed plays where people do a couple things and then they go straight into go fight Ganon and they beat him with barely
Yeah,
any not even with the master sword. They just beat him with like I don't know.
with
It's
three
crazy.
hearts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
that's the beauty about that game that it's so open and they just let you figure it out. There's not a lot of
yeah,
hand
yeah.
holding, which I can appreciate.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I definitely can. For me, I have like an OCD, so I always tend to like more linear games, like Last
Interesting.
of Us, God of War, because you almost go in the same path.
Hmm.
But something about Breath of the Wild is so magically beautiful, and you start playing, and you start having so much fun. You don't realize that you spend like 3 hours searching an area
Hmm.
without doing really something. Yeah, and it's beautiful in its own way.
I
So
agree.
yeah.
I would be afraid to to look at how many hours I have into that game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's plus 100 easy.
Yeah, 100%. Which actually
Yeah.
which is funny because that actually brings me into my second favorite game of all time, which is Witcher 3. I
How many
really
hours do you have you logged in?
I checked on my PC and it was like 150, 160. But Witcher 3 to me was literally one of the best games that I've ever played. Just because kind of going off with the what the Breath of the Wild does, where like it and you kind of just figure things out on your own. Witcher 3 is similar, where like you start off in this world and the world is just full of detail. CD Projekt Red hold it. The world is literally just full of quests and just so many different things you can do in the game. And I always tell people that that game made me for once not be like, oh, I gotta do side quest, or oh, I need to go do this.
Yeah.
Every side quest almost felt like a main quest. That's how good the side quests were, because
Wow.
you would go. It would say go hunt this witch or go do this other thing or whatever, and then you get to the area and that level, you get to that area where you're doing something, and it starts building into a whole other story, and it like keeps branching off into different things, and you're amazed by how that one side quest turned into this whole other quest that just was amazing. By the end of the quest, you're like, wow, that was such a crazy quest. Wow, so awesome. Because other games like Skyrim, you do quests and you're like, oh, okay, cool. I finished the quest. It was cool. But that one, like the story, the characters that you meet, the character development in that game is insane. At first, you're a little lost just because there's characters that are already into that universe if you didn't play Witcher 1 and 2, which I didn't do. So when I went into
Oh.
Witcher 3, I went in a little confused, like, okay, I don't know who these characters are, but they do a phenomenal job just building these characters. And by the end, you're like, man, I wish the story would continue.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I haven't played The Witcher, nor the first one, the second, the third one. I haven't played any Witcher game. I haven't watched the series, so
I haven't seen the series
uh,
either.
yeah. So I don't. I'm not a fan of The Witcher because I haven't watched it, but I have a lot of friends that have played The Witcher 3, and they tell me it's an awesome game. Personally, I wouldn't, start the game right now because I know it's an open, big world that
It's
you
an
need
open
to
big
spend
world.
so many hours. So
So
it's not
many.
attractive to me, right now. But
Yeah,
someday, if I somehow end up having, a free time, I definitely gonna play it. Yeah.
I personally think it's a game that you can't miss. I think you have to at some point play it just because it's really, really good. And it's crazy because how I got introduced to the game, I went to GameStop, and at that time I used to go to garage sales and bring in games to trade in at GameStop, and I would use that credit to buy. At that time, GameStop sold computers and some other stuff,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's how I would get those things. And then one day I went into GameStop and I needed a manager, and I was like, "Hey, bro, like, what's a good game that you can recommend me that I should play that I potentially have never played?" And he grabbed Witcher 3 and he goes, "Have you played this?" No. He goes, "That's what you're buying." And he's like, just if you he goes, "If you don't like it," he's like, "I want you to put at least 10 hours into it. If you don't like it, I will give you a full refund for the game, and I can let you pick whatever you want." Which technically you can't do it at a
Damn.
GameStop. Yeah.
Yeah, he was confident. He was
Yeah, he was
confident
so
that you were
confident.
going to like it.
So I was like, all right. I mean, it's a win-win. Like if I don't like it, I'll come back and I'll get a different game.
Yeah,
I
of
didn't
course.
come back.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, it
beat the
was
whole
so good.
game, and then I beat the DLC on the PC.
Damn.
But that
I,
game that
it
game was
intrigued
number
me.
two for me.
It intrigued me what you say about the side quest, because I like that. Like I say, I have like an OCD on this game that I have to have everything. I need to do
Mm-mm.
all side quests. I need to find all collectibles. So the
Kind of
actual
person,
side.
then that game is perfect.
Yeah, the fact that the side quests feel like the main quest is perfect for me because
Yeah,
once you, like you say, once you finish the side quest, you were like, oh, that was not the main quest. That was so awesome.
yeah,
That was this big world, yeah.
yeah,
So
and that's how I
that
felt
intrigued
because
me.
I would do all these side quests, and then I would sometimes, like you said, I would forget to do the main quest stuff because it's broken down by like, okay, these are the 3 main quests that you need to do to continue the story, but then you have this huge list of things that
Yeah,
you need to do, and some of them are like contracts where you have to like go kill a monster or something like that. But
yeah,
it's so fascinating how they do it, because like, let's say it's a villager saying, hey, we need help getting this monster killed, because Geralt is a basically a monster hunter, and
okay,
he will get a contract to go kill. I think in one of them he gets hired, like that witches one that I said, and it's these 3 ugly witches in some forest,
okay.
and you have to go out there, and then the story just keeps progressing, and you finally find the witches, and you get offered this offer, and like, it's one of those games that like your decision will lead to different outcomes in the world, and there's multiple endings, so you could have a bad ending and a good ending. um,
An ugly
some
ending.
character Yeah, some characters will die. You can decide to fall in love with this person. Like, it's just so intricate in the story, like everybody will have a sort of a different outcome. But that game to me was number 2. It was that good. I was shocked because
Nice,
I didn't think I was gonna like it that much.
nice. I have to
Yeah,
try it. I have to try it definitely.
you have to.
Yeah.
You have to. I'm gonna give it to you for your birthday or something.
I need to finish Octopath Traveler though.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, you have to be
Yeah,
Octopath Traveler.
yeah.
Trust me, I have so
So
many games that I haven't been. I did what you did. Right now, I'm just like, I need to beat this game before I can go to this game, before I can go
yeah.
to that game.
If
Because,
not, I'm
but then
gonna
more games
spend
come
so
out.
much. Yeah. It's so hard because you want all those games, but in reality, you're not gonna have the time to play them all. So I have to be disciplined with myself. I have to finish
Yeah,
this
same
game,
here.
then buy the next game I want, and so forth. So the third one was what was the third one? The third game you like? The best game
So
for
for
you?
my third one, the Last of Us, the first Last of Us,
Oh,
I
yeah,
really
beautiful,
like that
beautiful.
game.
I love it.
The gameplay,
And
the
I
graphics.
actually love the second one also. I know you hate the second one
You
because
liked it? I hated the second
I
one.
love the second one. And do you finish it completely? For because people got so angry with the start of the game that some people didn't play the game at all. So do you finish it?
So here, I played halfway and then I stopped because I didn't like it that much.
Okay. Yeah,
Because
I
so here's the
love
thing. Here,
yeah.
it wasn't a terrible game. I think how, and I've seen a bunch of videos of this, people where I feel like Naughty Dog split the Last of Us fan base, because I feel like
Yeah.
they shitted on all the characters that we grew up really loving in the first game, and in my view, I feel like they forced you to want to like these new characters like Abby and all these other people, and it just didn't feel like, I don't know, it just didn't click like it did with the first one. I feel like if they had done The Last of Us 2 and not The Last of Us 1, maybe people wouldn't have been as upset, but they made a whole game of us falling in love with these characters, and loving the relationship that Joel and Ellie have. For them coming to the second one, and they're just like, oh
Yeah.
no, this is Abby. Here's Abby.
Yeah.
Like, it like ruined it. But the gameplay was amazing. The visuals were phenomenal, and the soundtrack amazing as always. But those few things kind of just, it just didn't click.
Yeah, I get it. I respect that. But the way I see it, it's kind of the same. I know with this, new game, they try to put you these new characters and try to blame it on the original cast. So.
Mm-hmm.
But I see it as a perspective side. You see the
Okay.
perspective of the main protagonist, and this new installment brings you the other perspective. And when you see it completely, and I don't know, I kind of resonate with both stories, and I kind of like more the Abby story than actually the Ellie story at
Interesting.
the end, for real.
At the end,
And there
I did
are
see the ending.
a lot of people that go with Abby, and there are a lot of people that stay with Ellie. But
Hmm.
I love the Ellie from the first game, the one that it was
Hmm.
a kid growing up and developing into this assassin and woman that you don't want to mess with. And I think in
Hmm.
the second one, she already was that woman that was an assassin, was a badass, but I think it was like a bad person, almost like a, I don't know, the reasoning of her actions wasn't so convincing, wasn't convincing as the reasons for Abby, you know.
Mm.
So I kind of got put in between of those, perspective, and at the end
Okay.
I was rooting for Abby, and I still
Mm.
like Abby more than Ellie
Interesting.
at this time, so it's kind of love and hate
Interesting.
relationship, because at the first you hate Abby, but at the end I kind of understood. And I don't want to, bring out spoilers, but in The Last of Us One,
No.
when
Yeah.
when you finish the game, essentially Joel is a mega super villain, because he got rid of, everyone, uh,
Mm.
because he has such a good love for Ellie. But at the same
Yeah.
time, if you put the actions in a balance, Joel is a super heavy mega villain that we love with all our heart, because we are Joel, in the
Yeah.
game. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's kind of controversial, It's kind of
I agree with you on that part. That
yeah,
at the end of the one, it was controversial, the thing he did.
yeah,
But I just think that from what I played and from the gameplay that I've seen, I just feel like they could have gone about the story in a different way. Where like I feel like instead of like shitting on these characters that we already developed and liked, I feel like it should have been a progression where I've seen people talk about where perhaps Ellie and Abby could have built a relationship and then finding out about because she was from the beginning. Like I feel like how it started at the beginning because the whole Joel death thing happened so fast, so quick at the beginning. You're kind of just like, what? Like what just happened?
yeah.
Like
You don't know
and
what's even happening.
and like a lot of the reviewers that I saw when they were reviewing that game, they kept saying like the death didn't seem. It was like a cheap death kind of,
Yeah,
and I don't know, but it was definitely like I said, it wasn't a terrible game, but it just captured the essence of the first one. And there, I know they're two completely different stories, but in my opinion, they didn't do justice to the Last of Us because I've seen a lot of people say that they have zero interest for a third one if it ever comes out. A lot of reviewers, a lot of people, a lot of my friends, they've been like, I don't care about a third one anymore. The Last of Us Two just kind of but which
okay,
is
yeah.
fascinating because you resonated with both stories and you actually like the second one more, which is
Yeah, yeah. For
crazy.
real, for real. I kind of saw the point, of the Neil Druckmann.
Hmm.
I think he's such a good director. He's a
No, no, no.
genius.
The
Yeah,
man can make.
and
He made the
actually,
first one.
yeah, actually, the third one is already in development, and he's the
Yes.
director of the third one. So, oh, sorry,
Uh oh.
the low battery, low battery. Let me put this. Yeah, but he's the director of the third installment. So I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to
I'm.
that. I'm open to
Yeah.
that.
I mean, I'm gonna see how it comes. I'm not too excited for the third one, just because like I played like half of the second one and I just it didn't capture me like the first one did.
Yeah, yeah.
But what was your third one? I'm actually I'm curious. I don't think you told me your third one.
Super Mario World.
Super
Actually,
Mario World.
I love Last of Us, but I think Super Mario World is it has to be my my childhood, because that game was the first one I remember to be the first game I played and completed, and play it many times, many times. I repeated that
I,
game
I,
so
I
many times, and
I don't know how many times I beat it.
yeah, me neither. I don't know. I have lost count. but it was such a good game. I have a story of that game that is so wholesome
Let
because
me hear
my mom used to, you know, buy us things when we get good grades.
it.
We were good, and it was I don't remember what grade I was in, but my mom told me that if we both got my brother and I got good grades on the grade we were cursing, that she was gonna buy a game. So when we tell her our notes, our grades, we got good grades, and she bought us Super Mario World. And I think she did it for her because she liked Mario. So
Yeah.
I think she wanted to play the game and bought it for us. But we played the hell out of it, and we love it. And the game is beautiful. The only thing I don't think it's a great game is the story, because the story is kind of whack. The princess got,
It's
yeah, it's the classic
typical
Mario
Mario game.
story, But
Yeah.
the game itself is the sound. It's beautiful. The colors are vibrant and beautiful and captivating. The replayability of that game is insane. You can play that game right now, and you couldn't tell it's from 20 plus years ago. It's
Yeah.
such a great game, and it's arguably the best Mario game. I know it's a lot of people have it as a number one. Some people have Super Mario 3, Mario Galaxy, Odyssey. There's so much Mario games that are out there
There's so many good
that are
Mario
great.
games.
Yeah, but for me, that's arguably the best Mario game ever.
And I agree with you. Mario World was definitely, growing up, one of my top favorite games of all time. That was almost on my list, and so was Donkey Kong Country 2, actually. Those two
Beautiful.
Super Nintendo games, I think me and my brother played on repeat. I don't know how many times we played that game, because like you said, those are the games that back then you had to earn to be able to play, and you would get one game. That's the game you got.
One game all year.
Yeah, play it. So
Yeah.
me and my brother, we beat that game so many times. It was so good. But if I had to say that I like one game more than the other, I'm gonna say Mario 3. Just because Mario 3,
It's so good.
I grew up playing that one with my dad, and it was just such a good game too. And it's a toss up between those two. World, I think I would play World more, but 3 has more sentimental value for me.
Yeah, I remember that's the you can fly with the and it was you can also play it on Game Boy Advance. I had the cartridge of the Super Mario 3, on Game Boy Advance. Yeah, I love the game. You can also fly on that game. It was so cool.
Yeah, Mario 3, just because that was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that was the first game I can actually remember getting.
Okay.
2, Mario 3. So maybe that's why I really like Mario 3. But Super Mario World is like right there. Like those two games, are phenomenal.
That game, the Super Mario World, the Super Mario 3. We had that game because my aunt bought it for us. I had an aunt that visited us from United States. She was visiting, and she got all the cousins together, and we went to GameStop, and she told us, take one game, whatever you like, I'm gonna pay you for it. And that was like, that's the best, gift you can get to a nephew that love gaming. So she had like 6 nephews, and she let us pick a game. I didn't pick Super Mario World 3. Super Mario 3. Javi did it, my brother.
Javi did?
I picked Pokemon Emerald that day. Yeah.
That was a better game.
Yeah, I have my regrets. I love Pokemon.
Yeah.
But I played the hell out of Super Mario 3. Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, random question. Like this is just out of the blue. What was your favorite console?
My favorite console? Nintendo GameCube. I love Nintendo GameCube so much. Yeah, I know it's the ugly dog of Nintendo. Yeah.
Let me bring this.
Yeah.
Talking about
Oh my god, it's so
talking about
beautiful.
GameCube.
Yo, I used to I asked for Christmas for that, special edition GameCube. I still have it. Oh my god, so
This is bro.
beautiful,
This was today's pickup. And then
beautiful.
the sealed.
That's a masterpiece. That game is so good. I love that game.
And it's
Uh,
sealed, man. This was today's pickup, but funny that GameCube was your favorite
Wow.
one. Ah,
Yeah.
man.
I used to love GameCube. It's my all-time favorite console, undeniably. What's yours? I mean, you don't have to go with retro. If you like, Switch or
I
something.
I'm leaning for Super Nintendo.
Oh, nice, nice.
Super Nintendo and GameCube was not one. I loved GameCube later on. But
Okay.
I'm gonna say Super Nintendo or PS2.
Okay. PS2, yeah. PS2 is beautiful.
Those were the two that I put the most hours into and the most Super Nintendo. I think might be number one because that was the one that growing up, me and my brother I think played like crazy.
Yeah.
Like all the Donkey Kong Country, F-Zero, all the Super Metroid, like all the games that I still love to this day. I got to experience on the Super Nintendo. So I'm gonna go with Super Nintendo.
Yeah. It's a respectable choice. It has
Yeah.
such many good games. Did you play Smash, the first Smash on the Super Nintendo?
On the no, it was
No,
on the Nintendo
the
64.
64. Yeah. My bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was on the 64.
No. Yeah, I did. That was I think the number one N64 game for me
Yeah.
because you had the cousins come over, you had the buddies come over, and 4 controllers on the Super Nintendo, and you had a whole tournament.
Yeah. Or N64, also the same thing. You're getting Mario Kart,
Mario Party.
Mario Party. Yeah, it was such a great game, such a great time, man. The time flies.
Yeah.
I wish. Take me back.
No, I agree
that
with
will
you.
be awesome.
Because I feel like all the games. I feel like one thing that I guess kids nowadays won't really get to experience, which we thankfully got to experience. I sound like we're old as hell. Is that playing and connecting with like your buddies, your family members? Because they used to be just one console and then split screen. It
Yeah.
used to be like your buddies had to come over for you to be able to play the games. Versus now, we could just play a game online, connect, and you can voice chat with them. But it's not the same. It doesn't feel the same as having everybody come over, everybody's huddle around the TV with their controllers and
Yeah.
playing all night. So
I don't know about you,
I think that's why maybe.
but the festive season, the cousins, and on Christmas, on holidays, you can get together and play Smash, Mario Kart, all those games. It was
all
beautiful.
those games.
Yeah.
It was. I think it was such a great time.
Yeah.
No, I think it's definitely a very interesting perspective to hear what our favorite games of all time were.
Yeah.